Hello, everybody. Welcome to the TNT Boys podcast. This is episode 34. Today we're going to be talking about something pretty, I guess,
Pretty deep.
Pretty deep.
Serious.
Something we kind of been wanting to do for a while. Our podcast, you think we're mainly sports, but there's a lot of things that we have to really, kind of address and not really, I don't think address, but just talk about.
Yeah, it's
open.
Relevant and prevalent in really everyone's life.
That, and you guys kind of get to know us more, and we're not becoming strangers no more. We're already 34 episodes in. At one point we had a little bit of a break by accident. It wasn't really intentional, but things happen in life.
Yeah, it happened. It's over.
But we're here.
We moved past it.
We're working hard as we are now, and we're going to keep moving forward about that. I feel like every episode I bring up something about it, just podcast stuff like that. But I don't know why. Today we're going to be talking about men's mental health, or just mental health in general. This episode, to be honest with you, it's 12 o'clock at night?
Yeah, it's like midnight, yeah.
And, we're here still out of town, and we just decided to, let's just record this podcast.
Yeah.
Wrote up an episode quick. It's just, this topic has been wanting to be talked about for a long time, I think.
Yeah, it's something we all deal with.
Yeah.
Every day.
And again, I just want to put a little disclaimer out there, is we are not professionals.
No.
We're far from professionals.
We're not therapists. We're not psychologists.
We're just talking about our feelings.
We're just talking about it.
Yeah.
Our opinions.
Our takes.
Just some discussion.
It might get emotional. It might not. This might be a long episode. It might not be.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll just see how we go.
We'll see where it goes. Yeah.
I just know we got to get up early, but just hopefully, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
And we want you guys to join us as well. Again, we're going to give you all we got in this episode. This is kind of a rare episode that is being made at 12 o'clock at night.
Kind of impromptu and just kind of...
So we apologize if we don't sound energetic, but we're going to try our best.
It's quiet time.
Yeah, because the Airbnb we're at has a quiet time. Again, we're not experts or anything, so I think this would be a good episode to talk about. And, things that you guys hear about us and stuff. I know there's we got friends out there that might give you a hard time, but some of the stuff is serious and whatnot. And I know a lot of my friends will respect it. And if I have something to say they don't know, or some, you might learn something new about me. You might learn something about him. Who knows? You know, maybe there's things that are hurting inside of us that have been for a while, but sometimes you gotta punch a wall to feel like a man. No, I'm kidding. You don't gotta do that. That's just a repair you gotta do, and a lot of bullshit. All right. Pull up here. So, Sam, why don't you, and I mean, we've introduced ourselves before. Go ahead and explain who you are to the new, I know we got a lot of new listeners.
Yeah.
That have been coming in.
Sure. So I'm Sam. I help out Kale with the podcast. I'm the co-host of TNT Boys. I have a lot of fun with it. It's
very
helping
fun.
out Kale. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of fun with it.
Why is this topic really important to you personally?
Well, I mean, mental health is something that is just important, like in general for everyone,
and especially men. I'm not saying women are
Well, no, it's
nothing.
definitely, there's that stigma where mental health.
We need to break. It needs to be
it feels
breaking
like
the stigma.
it's neglected when it
Yes.
comes to men.
Breaking the stigma.
You know, the old fashioned standard is men aren't supposed to be emotional. You know, they're supposed to go about their work, go about their business, not show emotion, and just kind of, you know, bottle up, you know, any sort of feelings you might have, you know, bottle it up and just don't complain and go about your business and bottle it all up. And I think we're all guilty of that. I'm definitely guilty of that for sure. But
I know I am.
yeah, but I think that's why it's important. That's the main reason why men's mental health specifically is important, but really mental health in general for everyone is important.
Yes. I'm gonna go ahead and do mine. I'm Kale. A lot of people, you know me. I'm Kale, obviously. You know, I'm a local truck driver in Nebraska. You know, which just that job itself can be stressful and stuff, and it can sometimes, you know, take a toll on you. But sometimes you just gotta let it get to you. Anyway, this topic is important to me because I know I deal with it a lot. I don't really show it to a lot of people. The softer side of me, and I try not to, because it's a stigma thing where it's pride, and that's the thing.
Stigma / stereotype, if you will.
Every man is,
as it were.
Yeah, everyone has a pride, and
yeah. You know, I don't even think it's really a pride thing. It's just kind of
they have a
societal expectation.
Yeah,
like men aren't supposed to prioritize mental health. And that's not like us. Like, it's not me, you know, using that as, you know, some sort of, I'm not trying to sound bad or anything. That's just societal norm, societal expectation.
Right.
Like that's that's what it's been.
It's just
it's a stereotype. It's a stigma. Whatever word you want to use.
It's just a hard thing to talk about with men.
It's obviously prevalent.
And I nowadays, I like how women are starting to make it a thing where we need to talk about this. A lot of men are killing themselves over mental health, and just even women. Women are again. It's men and women. We're not trying.
It's huge. It's huge. Yeah. It is. It's huge. It's like you said. People are taking their own lives because of it.
Yeah.
Because they're not speaking about it. They're not looking for help. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. It's.
They let it bottle up, and then
they neglect it, and then they don't know another way out.
Yes, and you know, people have a hard time asking for help, and
there's different ways to cope with it too, though.
Yes.
Healthy ways and bad ways.
So let's move on to here. Let's you know, let's talk about how men are supposed to, you know, there's a lot of people are saying a lot of people say that they have to keep it together and have the high rates of there's a lot of high untreated rates of mental health in men. Of mental health issues. You know, you got a lot of people, you know what, sometimes mental health can lead into issues of like drug use, alcohol use, stuff like that.
Right. Unhealthy coping mechanisms.
Yeah. I guess, oh man, again, this episode's gonna be hard for us because we're not experts. We're just giving our opinions,
and it's hard to talk about.
Yeah,
it's an uncomfortable thing to talk about.
To be honest, this is like our first time just talking about with just you and I, like in this sort of way.
Yeah,
I know we talked about our feelings to each other quite a bit because we're best friends.
Yeah, but never really dive deep into mental health specifically, though.
Yeah.
So what are we on? So we each kind of talk about our experience with mental health and growing up, and again, we've kind of talked a little bit about like society's expectations and stuff like that. But I guess with my experience with mental health, you know, I can. There's so many aspects of your life you can draw back to mental health. You know, it can go from work to family to relationships, whether that's friendships or, you know, dating.
It could be the littlest, dumbest things,
you know,
too.
Romantic or dating type relationships. Like there's a lot of things that, you know, affect your mental health in life. And, you know, something I always turn to, and everyone knows this about me, to help with my mental health, that is therapeutic. I know it's not therapy, but it's therapeutic, and that's working out, lifting weights. Helps tremendously with my mental health.
You know what? That helps a lot of people like you. That helps you a lot.
And again, there's different coping mechanisms, and I consider that to be a healthy one, you know, because you're bettering yourself. You're doing something difficult that's going to challenge you and better yourself. Whereas, you know, an unhealthy version, like you said earlier, could be, you know, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, stuff like that.
Domestic
abuse.
It could be a lot.
Self-harm, you know.
It could be domestic. It could be...
Yeah.
And
it's just, you know, it can, you know, I mean, we can go into things that actually have triggered mental health. Like, you know, there's so many things. Like with work, it could be like for me,
there's such a big list that you could just make and name right now. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be just those. Like, it just could be the most randomest thing in the world.
Like, I can tell you right now, I'm
like
hard.
This couch.
I'm hard on myself.
This couch. This couch could upset me, and that makes me think of something. It's like, oh, here we go. You know.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Hold on, wait. Okay, I want you to explain that a little more. This couch can upset you.
So say like maybe we walk into the Airbnb, right, and say I've had a memory in my head that has been locked in for so long, and you know, something, I look at this couch and it triggers it, and it just puts you in a shitty mood for your trip, and it really starts to fuck with your mental health. Like, has
that happened?
It could happen
with this couch.
No, I'm just using an example.
This is an example.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's a lot of triggers.
No, it could. Yeah, totally. Like, I could hear a song from the past, and I think of a certain person or a certain situation in my life that might have been bad.
Oh man, you're gonna get me started here. So you say song. There's one particular song, and I don't care if you listen to this, Dad. I really don't. You've done it to yourself in life. Nickelback, Too Bad. Every time I listen to that song, it just, even the music video, it just hits. It either makes me pissed off, it makes me upset. It depends what mood you kind of get, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, too bad, it lay so long. And I'm not trying to be funny. I mean, like, it just, the idea of it is a father just all of a sudden leaving. And it was not a good dad. He was not, he, you know, he was very verbal abusive. Again, I don't care if you're listening to this. You are a piece of shit, father. I know my mom might say something to me about this, but you have done nothing for me. You've done nothing for my brother. You've done nothing for my mother. You could rot in hell for all I care. I got the receipts. You try to come at me with this. So, go ahead.
Nah, I mean, that's kind of what we talked about, though. This might get deep. And that's, you know, it's things like that trigger your mental health. And it's unfortunate for you. It's, you know, it's a relationship with a parent, which can be one of the worst things about it, you know. And I'm blessed and lucky enough to have great parents. You know, obviously we don't see eye to eye all the time, but, you know, it makes me more grateful, but then you also makes you more grateful for Brandon too.
Which is, yeah. So for viewers, my stepdad, his name is Brandon. He's probably the hardest working man I know in my life. I've had him for all my life. Moved here. Little thing about me is I moved here from Canada in 2004, at the age of I think 4 or 5. I had to go through the whole immigration and everything. I got my full citizenship now. Recently, back in a few years ago, early 2020s. No, 2018. So that, that's a whole thing too. So Brandon, he has done a lot for me. He has taught me how to grow up. He's taught me how to be a man, a hardworking person. Sir, of course, a lot of us sometimes you get a lot of miscommunications between us. I mean, you've seen it. A lot of people have seen it, and it's kind of funny, but we're trying to say the same thing, but yet we're just saying our way, and basically. But again, I love him to death. I would do anything for him. Mm-hmm. He has helped my mom a lot over the years. He's helped my brother. He's taught me, my brother and I a lot. He still helps me this day. If I know it, I know it bugs him. I know it bugs him because when I have something I need help with, he will literally drop what he's doing to come help me and make sure I do it right. And you know how I can do some things sometimes. If I'm learning something new, especially. And I'm sure your dad has taught you a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
Taught
me how to drive.
Yep. And, I know he probably doesn't want to hear this either. My brother, he was also really affected by this kind of stuff. And he's really, he has a hard time. He doesn't like talking about it. And I understand why. I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't want to upset him or anything if he hears this ever. So, I love him to death. I know that I could be better and stuff, and I'm going to work on that. And that's going to be my goal for 2025.
And that's another part of mental health is being self-aware of the, areas you can improve.
Yes.
Because if you're self-aware of that and you can, work to better yourself in whatever those areas are, that's going to improve your mental health. I mean, yeah. Because it'll improve your self-esteem, which, ties back into mental health. So I was also just going to say, I'm just naturally hard on myself in anything, just in life in general. I put a lot of pressure on myself I
know you do. A lot of us know you do.
In, whatever it is. A lot of it ties back to work. It ties back to, training. Really those two things quite a bit. And helping you out with the podcast and just trying to be the best person I can be every day. And for me, really being a trainer, it's having to pour into people, all, every day, all day long, being that positive, trying to be that positive influence for them. And, sometimes not really getting that back can be draining, but you do it, I do it just to, be the best I can be. But it's hard. It's hard some days.
Yeah,
it really is. There's days that are definitely harder than others.
Can I be honest with you? Whenever I talk to you, I don't try to bring out certain stuff because I don't know how it would make you feel. And, a lot of your personal stuff I don't ask because that's your business and stuff. Right. When you say you're hard on yourself, I know you are. I can tell. A lot of us can tell. Robbie can tell. I can tell. Maya can tell. Your closest people.
Right.
Probably Molly. I don't know what her take is on that, but
yeah, she can tell you.
You work pretty hard, dude. You have worked for whatever you have right now. You've been blessed. You have been very blessed. Sure. From training Mong to living with Mong, and then with that stuff, and now to where you are at full time at your job. You worked for that full time. You had some ups and downs. I've helped you with some of those ups and downs.
Yep.
And you have grown as a person, I think, a lot in the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think you and I both have, from just being roommates,
Sure.
and even before that.
Oh yeah.
So I mean that's a plus, right?
Yeah.
Your friends look at it and they notice
Right.
that stuff.
Right. Well, that's
Just even like the guys. Some of the guys in the group, I've noticed they don't hear me say this a lot. They probably think I'm always pissed off.
right.
I just look like. I mean, I have hate to admit it, I have a resting bitch face. I do. I mean, you could probably agree to that.
Yeah.
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 There's a lot of people in that group that have improved, and some are working on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy for all of us. We've grown the last 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Right. And that's all about self-improvement, growth, and that again, it all ties back into mental health. And there's there's other ways, like people that really struggle, people that have, a lot of people use religion,
Yes. I would like to have him come back on, is Craig, and sit him down like how we're doing now, or how we did with Robbie. And I've been told, by his boy, that he has stories.
Yeah.
He I don't want to talk on his behalf because he's obviously not here.
Right.
He's another person in my life this last year who has helped me a lot.
Yeah, I can really tell. Like, I can tell just when I talk to you.
Yeah.
Craig's been a real influential person in your life.
He's just another father. He's like another father figure.
He's been a positive influence for you, and very influential. That's just the way you talk about him, and like I feel like you really look up to him a lot.
Yep.
And he's been kind of a mentor for you too.
Yep.
Which is good.
I have a few people, like, if I have,
because he is kind of like another father figure for you.
So my list, like my top people to go to for like the best advice, will be my mom forever.
Oh yeah,
forever.
Right.
Is number one. Then Brandon, and then Nathan, and then Craig, and then Braden, and then there's a few more. If I will go to my brother, and I'm not saying he's my last resort. It's just, if it's something that is in his area expertise, I'm gonna ask him.
Right.
When it comes to like the computer stuff, wire management, whatever, wrestling, we talk about wrestling all the time. I'll go to him, or music, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I need to fix it. I need to be more about it, but
I think that's something I need to definitely improve on, is asking people for help when I need it.
Yeah,
because I am not good about that. I try to handle everything by myself.
There's a lot of things that I don't ask for help, and then my biggest pet peeve is when I ask for help and people.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Don't help you, and
that's where you got to kind of start. It's moments like that. Again, it ties back to mental health. It's moments like that where you have to start really looking at the people you're surrounding yourself with. Like, yep. If you find yourself always going out of your way to help these people, but the moment you need help, they're never available, or that just shows they take you for granted.
Yeah,
they're probably not looking out for your best interest. They're probably not the best type of people to be surrounding yourself with. But like, I know Kale, he always has my back.
Yeah.
And I always have his back, no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's why I've had other best friends in the past.
I've been through a couple of them.
And they've always switched up on me at some point. They've always been fake, or they've always went down a bad path. And
I guess we could say they had a loose screw in their head.
Yeah, or like something happened where like they ended up just taking you for granted. And Kale's never been that way.
No.
So people might ask me why you're my best friend, or they might ask why I'm your best friend.
Yeah,
because we're kind of you wouldn't think we are just by like at first glance.
I get that a lot. Like, wait, what? You guys are friends?
But it's like you gotta look beyond the surface, man. Like, someone adds value to your life, someone, you know, just keeps it real with you and doesn't switch up on you, and, you know, doesn't change up. Always, you know, always got your back. That's what being a friend's all about. So
I agree. You know, again, this is, I mean, I'm glad we're doing this episode, but this is, you know, it's hard to talk about for me. I guess I don't know how to explain it. You know, I want to add on to what you said.
right.
A lot of people ask me the same question. Why you guys, like, how'd you guys become friends?
Right.
Why are you friends and stuff? And you just, you know, Sam and I,
well, it's because we have different backgrounds.
I don't lift. I mean, actually,
I used to
lift a lot. I don't look like I do now. Obviously, I still have a lot of built up muscle in me because I use it every day.
You have functional, like, labor strength.
Yes.
I know you do.
You know, I used to actually at one point lift more than Sam when he was getting into the powerlifting more.
That's when I was just.
And then little me, I moved, and
yeah,
you know,
well,
there's this history.
You moved for the love of your life,
which I'm still with today.
Yep.
And I don't know. I don't know how else to talk about it.
Well, I mean, there's so many other things that is.
I bet you there's a lot of people that have seen our stuff like, why are these two guys friends? What an odd pairing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, you know, it's there's just so much more than just, you see that?
Yeah, sorry, we got football in the background.
Highlights from
today's
games, but but yeah, no, like I've definitely been asked it, and, you know, I'm just like, I mean, it really deserves no other explanation than, I mean, everything I just said earlier. Like,
yeah.
You know, people think I'd hang out with just fit people, or like just like other like gym rats and stuff, and I do. But,
you know, let's go back to the people that, you know, the circle thing, right?
Right.
I saw something the other day that really hit me, and it makes a lot of sense. I might not quote it right, obviously, because it's me, but I'm going to do my best. But it said that you're an enemy in someone's story.
Oh yeah,
because
you're the enemy.
Yep. You're going to be an enemy in someone's story until the day you die. Until the day they die.
Someone's always so. Someone, yeah, you're always going to be the enemy, and someone's always going to make you the enemy in their story.
But so you're going to be an enemy in someone's story until the day they die. But at the end of the day, just know that you also have made a positive impact on someone's life as well, that cares about you, still thinks about you. And it can't, you know, it's not with like friends or anything.
And as long
it could be that random stranger you helped at the store,
and even that person that you might be an enemy to in their story, as long as you know deep in your heart, and that you always kept it real and always, you know, moved with pure intentions, there's nothing to feel bad about.
No.
You know,
I'm gonna be straight 100 honest right now. If someone says they don't like me, and I know there's people that don't like me, there's people that hate me, people that I know
there's people that don't like me.
I mean, you're a bodybuilder in local Nebraska, Norfolk, Nebraska, and you know, people, our town, we'll get into it more, but our town can be something else.
There's a lot of jealousy.
So I don't care if you don't like me. No.
I don't have time. I don't have time to care about it.
Unless you're like someone significant in my life.
Right.
And I know I personally fucked up.
Right. That's different.
Then it's going to hurt. If
you're someone that I don't know or like see every now and again, and you just don't like me because, I don't know, like because of whatever story you made up in your head about me.
Or cool. What you heard.
Cool. Good for you, man. Like,
oh, dude.
Like you, I'm living rent free in your head, and
it goes like to our comments, like we're living rent free in some people's heads.
If I'm living rent free in your head, and I'm making that like you're the one choosing to not like me. Like,
yeah,
I am not losing one bit of sleep over it.
yeah. And the thing is like, say this podcast and say I say something and, you know, it depends to a certain degree, obviously, but if it's something where I have to change something and it's like something little that ain't that much of a big deal, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna go on record right now and say it. I'm not doing it. Unless, again, if it's a big enough deal where it is, I will. But if I say a certain, like a word or something, not like bad words, but like something that would trigger somebody for the littlest things.
Right.
Then, like if I said the R word.
Right.
You know, then I will really apologize. Because it's not a good word to use.
No.
I guess if you understand what I'm trying to go with, but, you know, I'm not going to change on something because a couple people's feelings are hurt in the comments is what I'm trying to say.
So what are some things you go to, positive things you go to when you're struggling, like you're struggling with your mental health? Like if you're having you're kind of sad, depressed, like you're dealing with the big sad, you're in your feels. What are some things you go to that you would consider healthy coping mechanisms?
I eat food. No, I'm kidding. That's terrible.
I mean, healthy food.
Could be.
Healthy food.
Just in general, or like the situation, like is there a situation?
I'm just saying, like, if you're, you know, in your feels, like, you know, dealing with some depression, sad.
Can I say it's healthy to me, but not to other people don't think it is?
Well, what is it?
I literally go be by myself. I go do my own thing.
That's not necessarily unhealthy. Like being by yourself and just having some alone time.
Yeah, like I'll just go upstairs in my game room, the podcast room, and I'll just do my own thing, game, or just hell, I even go work on shit. I mean,
it's not causing any harm, so I don't see why it would be unhealthy. I'm saying like unhealthy would be like
punching walls and
binge eating, unhealthy foods,
just
drinking, smoking, drugs, self-harm, domestic abuse, self-abuse.
Well, there's driving
animal
around
abuse.
Driving around by myself is probably my favorite.
Driving is therapeutic.
Driving around by myself, windows down, if it's nice outside.
Listening to music.
Yes.
Listening to music. Obviously working out for me. Going for a walk. Being by myself, just, and honestly, like lately I've kind of actually starting to get more into religion and trying to get better in my faith, actually.
Been trying to do that a little bit more. Again, Craig, one day he came up to me and, he knows I've been going through a tough time, and with work and things that are going on. My grandfather, I didn't tell you this, but my grandfather, he, had some, I don't want to say on the air because I know I got family that listen to this. Some complications, I guess I would say, and they're not like a big deal, but kind of are a big deal. And just me being Wart Kale here. He came up to me and he gave me a Bible verse. I can't remember exactly what number it is on top of my head, the second, but it's a good one. It was a really good one about how you're losing. Oh, what was it? You're losing. It made it seem like you just accept how things go, and
basically,
God, it's gonna bug me.
Something I've kind of learned. So I've actually been attending I wouldn't really call it like a church group, but it's something for like beginners, like people that want to get more into faith and creating a relationship with God. And because I don't know where to start, I didn't grow up.
I can tell you how to start.
Well, I am starting now.
I know.
But basically, something that I've kind of learned that keeps it simple is, you can only, control what you can control and do it to the best of your ability, and you let God take care of the rest. You just got to have faith.
We can always go to Nathan and Craig and.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I know.
I don't want to make
that, and that's a good place to start. But also, one of my clients who actually works for the church in Pierce. It's Molly's mother.
Okay.
I don't really feel like name dropping her right now, but
that's fine.
It's a group on Monday nights. It's called Alpha, and that's what I've been going to.
Gotcha. I do have a Bible in my house. I got a couple. I got them when my father-in-law passed away. From my buddy Nathan, and he said, I texted him, like, it was at that time, like, dude, I didn't know what was going on. I had some things going to happen in my life that you were a part of, but we're not going to discuss it at the time. I was like, hey man, I need you got some Bibles? He's like, why? I was like, I just need to read it. He's like, okay, yeah. He texted me like, all right, they're in a case right in front of your door when you get back. And I picked them up. I started reading it a little bit. But I don't remember a lot of scripture from, it was like years ago. So, but recently, actually, we're speaking of religion recently. I actually want to start reading it a little bit more, just because.
Reading in general?
Yeah. And it's funny thinking about it now. Remember how a couple episodes, or a lot of episodes ago, I said, I don't read. Well, I'm getting motivated. I'm getting motivated to read more.
I've been we have it's staff development at work, and we read. Like, we're reading. We finished a book. We started a new one, and we have periodic meetings about it. We try to do monthly meetings about it, and it just helps with it's like what's the word? Strategic growth, staff development, it's all about work-life balance.
Like character development, like
character development within professional and personal life. And I feel like it's helped a lot.
You want to know my real reason why? Well, it's like one of the main reasons I don't go to church, and I haven't told Nathan this, I haven't told Craig this, and because they're very big into it, and I don't want to, I don't like offending people. I respect what they do, and which a lot of people should, right?
Yeah.
I just don't know how people will accept me for who I am.
Right.
I don't want people to think like, oh, here goes this guy, he's a one-timer, or
that's the thing.
It's just again, that's where it comes to the mental health part. Is
right.
You get the anxiety, you feel like you have to go every Sunday, you have to fit, and
they broadcast it now a lot of times too.
I don't know. I would rather have the real feel.
So would I. And honestly,
to be honest, I actually, this might shock my mother when I say this, I would love to be baptized in my life, but I don't know. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to do that.
The thing with me is, I grew up, my family, we never went. That just wasn't something I grew up into.
Well,
it's not like my family wasn't religious. Like, my parents both grew up into it, but it's just not something I grew up into.
Yeah,
and I'd like to introduce it more into my life, and I'm working on it.
Yes. I think I believe in God a lot. I don't want to keep talking about religion because this.
Right, but it really saves a lot of people, though.
I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I accept Jesus Christ as my savior.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in guardian angels. I've had experiences where I've almost died as a kid, and someone was there looking after me, made sure I came out of the tunnel right. So
I'll end with this when it comes to the religion thing. I'll just say that. What was I going to say now? I totally forgot. I blanked.
Way to go, Bucko.
You interrupted me. No, I'm
Sorry.
kidding. Nah, it's fine. We can move on. Oh, no. I'll just say this. A lot of people, especially people that deal with, addiction or, and any sort of really addiction or any sort of, really traumatic past experiences, religion saves them, and it really gets them to a healthy place, and it ties back into mental health. And really, I feel like for me, the main reason I'm doing it is because it's not just because I work for a Christian facility. It's really because I'm always looking for self-development and self-growth. And I feel like that's something that's missing in my life to help with, one, my mental health and just personal development and self-growth. I feel like it would help tremendously. And so that's where I and we will end up on the religion topic with this. But I think it was, I think it was very relevant and prevalent.
I just know that I just will say this, and I'll add this to the end as well, to the religion section. I know the minute that this topic is over, I'm gonna get a phone call or I'm gonna get a text from Nathan or Craig about it. Yeah, they're just gonna we'll probably talk about it. You know, I'm respectful when it comes to that stuff, and you know, yeah.
You mean after like it's posted?
So when this drops,
yeah,
in a while, and then if they ever get a chance to listen, it'll probably not be right away. It may be, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm sure. Or
or
Craig will come up and talk to me at work when I'm in the back and get my stuff ready for the day. But anyway, let's talk about how depression and how it could, depression, anxiety, how it can, I sound like a broken record tonight. I'm sorry, guys. Let's talk about how depression and anxiety can present itself in men. So, like, is it often masked? Does it show anger or withdrawals or what's that word?
Irritability.
Yep. One of the things I've noticed is when someone's depressed, it affects work ethic.
Work ethic.
Yep, the ethic of a work. I know it affects me. I don't know about you.
No, it does.
I know it could affect some people I've known.
Well, you said depression and anxiety.
Yeah, so like,
honestly, it almost makes me zone in on my work even harder. Because if I'm depressed about something, or
I can see that.
Like if something like that upsets me is weighing on my mind, like when I'm not busy, I try to stay more busy and work harder to keep my mind off of whatever that thing is. And then it sucks when you come back down and you're not, like, you get done with whatever, and then you just start thinking about it again. And yeah.
It's those triggers.
Yeah.
It sucks having triggers sometimes.
But, yeah. So for me, I almost zone in on my work even more when I'm dealing with that.
A lot of your, let's use you as an example for a second here. Say, you are, you're a personal trainer. Everyone sees you as happy all the time. You have to be for that job. If you're not, and you look like you don't want to be there, I don't think you should be a personal trainer.
I mean, personally. Yeah, you got to be. I mean, obviously everyone has their bad days, but
not be like the Richard Simmons, happy all the fucking time.
Oh, but blah, no, blah, they expect you to be a positive, uplifting person,
role model, especially,
and a role model, and you leave your problems at the door. You do
exactly. That's something,
and I do that every day. And is it healthy? I don't know.
It can be,
It can be, but then also I don't know. That's where therapy comes into play, though.
So
we haven't really touched on that, really.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because that's huge for mental health. That's probably one of the biggest pillars for mental health is doing therapy.
Yeah.
And I've never done therapy.
I have grown up.
I've done things that I find therapeutic.
Yeah.
But not actual therapy.
It's just each their own, whatever helps them,
But I call weightlifting therapy, but it's not actually therapy.
No, it's just
therapeutic.
It's therapy for your body because you're releasing the anger or whatever it's on you. But like,
sure,
you're not talking to someone about your issues.
Exactly.
you know, I ain't gonna lie. There's some mornings I come to work and either again the resting bitch face, you know, either looks like I'm annoyed or I'm pissed off or whatever. Um, there's times I have came into work pissed off and annoyed, and I just don't say anything, and that's a terrible habit I have. But they always ask me, "Kill, you mad? You angry? You crabby?" And I'm like, look at him with the resting bitch face. I'm like, nope, I am all good. That's what I've been doing. And you know, again, Braden, good guy I work with, he tells you to leave that shit at the door ever since he started being the manager in the warehouse. And it's like, yep.
I'll tell you what, if I'm going into work in the morning and I might not be in the best headspace or I might be in a little bit of a bad mood, my first client's typically at 8 a.m. and I usually get to work around 7:15, 7:30. I'll just go into my office, shut the door, and just get ready for the day. But it's important that I shut the door so that I get that 30
that time to yourself.
I get that 30 to 45 minutes to just like, you know, lock in for the day.
I love locking memes, dude.
And like getting ready, getting my stuff ready, getting in the right frame of mind and just locking in for the day. Like, okay, you might not be in the best mood. You might have this going on and this, but right now that doesn't matter. Right now you got to be here for your clients. You got to be here for your coworkers. And it's time to lock in for the day, and then we'll take care of whatever else afterwards.
You know, speaking of lock, dude,
that 30 to 45 minutes for me is really crucial every morning.
You know, speaking of locked in, for example, you know, if I don't talk to you in the morning, it's not really necessarily I'm mad at you or I'm
right.
crabby. It's just I'm trying to lock in because I want to do good at my job, and yes, I could fuck up at my job. I can. I'm gonna admit that right now.
We all do.
I always fuck up.
We always like. I've been a certified trainer for over 7 years now, and I'm still learning new things all the time.
Yeah, I've had my studio for a while.
I still mess up all the time. So
you know, there's times I have to explain stuff to Chris because I know he was one of those guys that read the book and wouldn't test it out and got a CDL. He didn't go through the whole schooling, so I feel like I've taught him some stuff, and you know. Here and there, if he doesn't want to listen sometimes, but it's okay. He, you know,
who was that again?
Chris.
Oh yeah.
You know, he. What I like about my coworkers, and when we critique something about someone, either when it's like a messing around, like they'll say something like, "Oh, well, you do this," and blah, 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 blah. It's not because they're meaning it. They're meaning it by just like jokingly, like.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Right.
But then when you clap back at them, it's funny.
Yeah, another thing I guess for me is, you know, going back on that topic of like, you know, if I come into work and you know, maybe not the greatest headspace and I need time to lock in and be there for people, be that positive person for people, it's good that I can be that person for people. But at the same time, again, sometimes I don't feel like I have that person I can lean on at work either. You know, like I feel like people are just so used to me being the positive person to lean on that when I need someone to lean on, they're weirded out by it. Like they think something's majorly wrong with me because I'm not happy-go-lucky Sam. You know, yeah. I'm, you know, I might be, you know, not my regular chipper self, and they feel like something is like majorly wrong with me when really I'm just a regular human being and I have emotions. And I don't know, it's just weird sometimes. So that's why I need that time to just lock in because I don't know. But it helps. It helps me. So
let's open up here. What have you let's open up by saying what has changed, if anything, in your life to make, you know, you more comfortable discussing your mental health, and what are key moments of that you have and people who have helped you the most. I should explain that better, but again, we're tired. We're doing this late at night, so Things aren't gonna come out right.
So basically, what are things that have happened in my life that
What are key moments that
have helped me develop my mental health?
Yeah, and who has helped you?
Well,
I mean, I already named off my
I can go back about 6 years. Couple things happened. Got out of a bad relationship. I'm not going to name drop anyone, but that was a tough time in my life. And honestly, like at the time, I didn't think it was bad, like a bad relationship. But looking back, like I'm glad it ended because it wasn't.
I am too.
It wasn't good. It was toxic. Like now thinking back at it, it was toxic. And there was a lot of red flags. And I wasn't perfect, but there was a lot of red flags. And, you know, I've never wish anything bad to happen to anyone. But, you know, I wish nothing but the best for this person. But I'm glad it ended. I'm glad it came to an end. Looking back, but at the time I struggled, and you saw that we were living together.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, dude.
Later that year, I lost my job.
Can I just say one thing? When I was sitting there eating a bowl of cereal, and you're sitting there telling me about what happened, and everything, you were talking to me at the wrong time. I was like, just woke up, and I was trying to eat, and I was just sitting there like. I
don't remember that.
But even that, I just started listening more and
but anyway,
I'm not trying to sound like a dick. I wasn't trying to be. It's just
so I mean, you want to know what has helped me change my mental health, that's where it starts.
Oh, I know. It seemed like that day on you have locked in the last few years.
But yeah, later that year, this was 2019. I lost my job. Like Complete Nutrition was going under. Complete Nutrition was failing. And I got laid off and I lost my job and I was struggling financially. Like life was kicking my ass, man. Like like my girlfriend dumped me. I was living paycheck to paycheck, lost my job. Now my only job was being a part-time trainer at the Y, and I had to really lock in there. But by the end of the year, I was blessed, you know, and, you know, looking at it now, you know, becoming more drawn in with my faith, you know, God was looking out for me. You know, God had a plan for me. You know, he said, that girl's not right for you. She's not the one. This Complete Nutrition job, this isn't what you're meant to be doing. You know, and I feel really bad for, Pat, because, you know, he invested so much into that company and they did him real dirty in the end. But eventually I got the job I had been working so hard for 3 years.
Yep.
And, you know, it was the biggest blessing. And, you know, and we've only grown since then. You know, I've grown better in my career. You know, I've learned more. You know, I've gotten into powerlifting, which has been a huge thing in my life. It's helped me become a better person, become a harder worker, become better in my career, become a, you know, better mentor for other people. And the people have helped me along the way, my best friends, my family, and my mentors.
Yeah. I was going to say, if there's one thing, or not one thing, when you lived at the house too, Maya was a big help in you in that relationship too, when you guys broke up.
Maya was?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course she was.
You know.
That's why I said my closest friends, like you, Maya, like everyone. And then my family, like I know my family, I always got my family.
Yeah.
And you and Maya are basically like family to me anyway.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, to be honest, you know, a big thing, a lot of people probably, that if you guys know us, we hang out about every weekend.
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah.
We try not to,
but yeah, we do this a lot now.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, if you really want to know what's helped me lock in more on my mental health and become more self-aware of those kinds of things, it really, a lot has changed since then for the better. And obviously there's been bumps in the road. It hasn't all been perfect, obviously, but I've been through some shit, and a lot of people don't know that about me. Like, I thought I was going to marry this girl, and ended up.
I'm glad you didn't.
I'm looking back, I'm glad I didn't either. And it's nothing to, I'm not going to say anything bad about this person.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Because I wish nothing bad to happen to anyone. I hope they're doing great. I hope they're living a great life, but it wasn't the right fit. But that's, moving forward, that's really, how it's been. And, now I'm, when it comes to that kind of thing, it's, I'm so focused on myself. Like, I'm just, the right, I know that if I continue working hard and focusing on myself and have faith in God, the right person will come along eventually.
That's right.
And
can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Speaking of your relationships too, and I think I don't like talking to you about it because you're pretty hard to talk about it with, which I understand. That's your business. And sometimes though, I look out for you when it comes to that stuff. As
no, I know
your boy should, you know?
Right.
And if I say like for we had a situation, I'm not gonna say who, certain someone is not a fan of certain someone or something, right? So if I say something, then you fucked up. That's basically what I'm trying to get at.
Right.
I would hope my opinion would help you.
Oh yeah.
For
sure.
And I'm not gonna hold back on that shit.
No, and you're very blunt.
I don't have a problem talking to you about that stuff, and I don't like to sometimes, like I said, because I don't want to seem like I'm Snoopy.
Dude, you can talk to me about anything. I mean, you know that.
If I don't think if I don't know how to explain this because I don't want to make you mad or anything. You know what I mean? Like, I
don't know. I mean, yeah. I get it.
I just don't want to make
it's a touchy subject.
Yeah. Because, one, we're recording, and two, it's just a conversation.
But it ties back to mental health. You want to talk about mental health. So
again, like basically all in all, what I'm trying to say is I'm gonna look out for you till
I know
until something. I hope if we ever end our friendship, I'm fighting. Not like physical, but like I'm fighting for that friendship.
Oh, I know.
I will.
Same.
I would. But you don't do me wrong. You never do. Man, we're having a bromance over here. Not mental health, this bromance.
Things have gotten deep. Things have gotten pretty deep.
It has. Yeah.
But I mean, what else do you expect with this topic?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my stance on that now is, I'm not settling for anything less than what I know I deserve.
So, I like that attitude.
Obviously it's never, nothing's perfect, but for the right situation, you'll work for it and you'll know. So
when you say perfect, nobody.
So a lot of people don't know that about me though. Like because I don't talk about it because it doesn't bother me anymore. But it was a big thing in my life, and I can talk about it now without it bothering me.
Yeah, you have a mic in your hand, and you have a whole like viewers that could relate to you. And,
right. So I used to hate talking about it because it made me upset. Now I can talk about it freely.
Yeah. That's what I like about being 34 episodes in now, as of right now.
Yep.
It has made me feel like a better person that I could open up. And again, comes to mental health. I feel like I've opened up a lot about stuff. I've been kind of getting used to like talking to an audience, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Maya has been through my has been my rock for the last so many years.
She's been real good for you.
We've been together since 2016 July. About 8 years. She has helped me through a lot. We got something going on now. I can't talk about it. Not going to talk about it. I've helped her through her dad's passing a lot. I did a lot for her, and vice versa. She did.
And that's what relationships are. It's a lot of give and take and a lot of sacrifice, but you do it because you love the person.
Yep. Tough times, when they come in, and it really affects you, like the hardship sometimes.
Yeah.
There was a point where I wasn't working for a little while because of issues that I had, again, can't talk about it. I'm going to try to stop. I'm going to stop. There was a time that I didn't have a job for a while, and you would think that wouldn't affect someone, but it does.
Oh, of course it would affect someone. I would totally think it would.
You want to talk about
not having work, like that's. I feel like that would totally affect anyone.
I was at the point where I was trying to figure out what I can do, what I can build, what I could, what stupid side hustle can Kale do?
Yeah.
I've done a lot of some cool things. I mean, I could still do it if I wanted to, but with the market in the town we're at, it's not great at all.
Yeah.
There was a time, so at this time, you want to talk about locking in, dude. You want to talk about locking in. When I got that job at O'Reilly's, that's when I locked the fuck in. I'm a person that, if you have when you don't have a job and you don't want to work at a job that you don't want to do at all, you just have to suck it the fuck up. That's when it's time to grow up.
That's what I had to do. And going back to my situation when the whole thing at Complete, went under. And that's when I really had to just lock in at the Y, which was a blessing in disguise.
So, okay, O'Reilly's, not the greatest job, but I have some experience in cars and I know what I can get by. And it's not just saying get by. I guess I have a good little knowledge about it from friends and helping and learning myself and parts and everything.
Right.
I am in debt to the manager at the time, Lowell Christensen, an old military man who fought in Vietnam, and Dean Hansen, who may he rest in soul, who recently passed away. Sad deal. They gave somebody who hasn't worked for a little while a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it helped. It was, I'm sure they were glad to do it. I did everything. I never
you
called
actually
in.
Enjoyed it there. It seemed like too.
I never called in. That's when I locked the fuck in. I never
because you like your coworkers there and stuff.
Yeah, I still go back there and bullshit with them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And,
you still go there.
And I get a discount still, so no one should know that. And then I had an opportunity, when God talk about giving you opportunities, I was blessed with my first trucking job. A man named by Paul Holland comes in, and he has his son with him, and I graduated with his son. And I get talking to him, and bullshitting with him and bullshit with his son Preston, and we're just bullshitting. He's telling me what he does. I'm like, oh, you need drivers, and he's like, yeah, I need drivers. He's like, yeah, we'll get an interview, blah blah blah. It took a little bit to hire me, and I when I put my 2 weeks on O'Reilly's, it hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It did, and I've never.
You enjoyed it, but you wanted something more with like driving and.
At that point, I've never had coworkers that really appreciated you. Like I was like one day, I was like, you know what? Last day, let's do a potluck.
Yeah.
We did. They all contributed.
Cool.
And
shows you made an impact there.
Yeah.
Like you made an impact.
Exactly. And so I go to the trucking job at West Hodson, concrete and lumber. And I'm a concrete driver. I wasn't great at it, I'll be honest.
Right.
I enjoyed it. Never called in again. Talk about locking in. I can see why.
I think maybe with how long you were out of work,
I grew up.
You never took it for granted anymore. Like you don't take it for granted anymore.
And
like you were thankful and blessed for the opportunity just to work.
Sure, the job could have been shitty at times, and I worked a lot of hours. And at that time, when I worked at the job, I was an asshole. I'm not gonna lie.
The concrete job.
I was a dick because one, I worked with a bunch of dicks, and I barely got any sleep because that's when I first
toxic work environment. It's never good.
Well, it's not just that; it's more of I finally got tested for sleep apnea for work.
Oh yeah,
and I need to contain the CDL. You have to do it. If you refuse, you lose it. Whatever, blah blah blah. And I could be wrong. Quote me, or get fucked. I guess. So yeah, I started using it, dude. Year in using it. Oh, dude, I'm not as tired anymore.
Yeah,
I'm not as crabby. I'm not. Again, I'm in debt to Paul, even though the things didn't work out the way it should at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it was too hard on my body because, my issues I got going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I interview with my current boss, Rollin. Did the interview, finally got hired. And this job is probably the greatest fucking job I've ever had. And I've been here for about a year and a half, or pretty much a year and a half now.
Mm-hmm.
And, I will say, though, too, Paul has helped me get into my trucking career. I found the opportunity. He gave me it. I tried my best. Didn't work out. But now I got the experience under my belt where if I ever go anywhere, I can go anywhere now. And learned a lot from those guys. But anyway, I work for 3E now. And I met Craig, I met Rollin, I met Jason, Brian, Sharon, Chris, Levi at the time. Levi was great. Then he left, and Benton and Jay and Sue. Like, it's a small group of people in there, but it makes you feel like a family at times. But we always give each other shit all the time, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
We're so hard on each other. Like, we'll say some shit to piss each other off, but at the end of the day, we don't mean it. Like the other day, I took this extended PVC pipe. You could pull it out and connect it to 2 pieces of pipe if you ran out of extra pipe.
Yeah.
And I look at it. I'm like, hey, Brian, look, I found a bitch. And I'm looking right at him. And he's like walking by speechless. When you out, I guess, smart ass him, he's quiet. But, yeah, anyway, I just talk about locking in, dude. I work.
Yeah.
I just work. Dude, that's all I do. I know you don't consider this podcast a job. To me, I do.
Right.
I take it as a job.
I know.
I come home at night. I'll try to play games. Or I'm always working on this thing. Always trying to keep up to date. Always, you know what I mean?
Right. And I know. And that's why I understand your passion for it and how much you want to see it succeed. And I do too. But I know it's really you're the face.
We're here because of me.
You're the face of TNT, boys. And that's why I enjoy helping you. I'm having fun doing it.
Yeah, and
I don't consider it a job. I consider it a fun little side thing.
Well, what if we become bigger? Would you consider it as a job? Depends on what number we're at, right?
Because it just depends, like.
But I mean, I would like to.
I don't know if but it's also something that's fun. Like, it's something that's fun that you enjoy. Do you really consider it?
But you want to talk about mental stress sometimes? For me, it sucks.
Well,
but I pushed through it.
Yeah.
I pushed through it. When she sees that I'm frustrated, she's like, just take a break. Or,
yeah.
You don't need to do that. Like, right, you could do that. You can finish it now. And then if it's like, depends what it is. Like, if it needs to come out tomorrow, it needs to come out tomorrow. But, right. I think by the time that this comes out, we'll be on Mondays now. I'll be posting.
Prioritizing breaks is really important.
Yeah.
Especially when you feel mental stress from work or anything work related.
I mean, look at the useless assumption guys. They work a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They Zach, you have a workhorse in your brother.
Got a lot on his plate.
Yeah. I don't know how you do it, but I respect it. Ever since that night, we're not going to talk about it, but I respect it. And after that night too, Zach, that's when I locked in for all this. So after that, we're going to leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll just move on now.
Yep. And,
what else is there?
I can't remember what we wrote.
We covered quite a bit.
Yeah, we need, there's so much.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it's probably stuff we've already touched on or talked about. We just kind of dove in and just started saying what was on our mind.
Yeah. I mean,
it was kind of like a almost freelance style of episode. Not totally, but that's just kind of how this one has gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it.
I don't really have much more to say on it. We talked about pretty much everything.
Yeah. I liked it. I'm sure. I hope you guys liked it.
Yeah. I mean, let us know. Let us know if you enjoyed it. Let us know if you think we're stupid for
don't
even trying to talk about this.
Don't. Yeah, let us know. Or do you want to hear more from us doing stuff like this? Like, again, we're not trying to do just sports. Or just football. We like to expand into other areas. Like talk about everything,
Right.
I was like waiting for you to say something. I was like, is he zoning out?
Let's start to wrap this thing up.
I can tell you're tired. So, anyway, don't forget to follow us on all social medias. X, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Don't forget to follow all the podcasts on the Agent Life Media Group brand. Use Assumptions, TNT Boys, that's us. We're terrible. And then Talking Dirt, Touching Base is also ran by the Use Assumption Boys. And, yeah, I hope you guys had a good one. Just let us know in the comments below if you guys want to hear this more. This was definitely a tough episode to do, but it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
So, I hope you guys have a good one. I hope you guys are safe and stay out of trouble. Peace out. Bye.